Hello. Hi there. My name is Erica Barica. I'm a watercolor illustrator, painter, and I teach how to watercolor paint as well. I'm in Denver, Colorado, and I'm a mom of 2 little girls. And I just absolutely love watercolor. It's just amazing. It's my mission to have a lot of new watercolor friends that have that they just get introduced to it and they love it as well. And they paint and they just express themselves through watercolor painting and just also take time for themselves with something that's fun, that's just a quiet time, easy. I think is really easy to learn and pick up. It's, everything has its challenges, but I really feel like, especially us as women, we tend to put ourselves last. And this is something that's really doable, easy to incorporate in our day-to-day, pick up, put down, and it's really, really beautiful. Watercolor is special because it's the only medium that is really transparent and just layers the way that it does. It's the only one that works backwards. So you use the white of the paper as your white, and then you're just getting darker and darker from there on. So having different colors of the paint and then waiting until it's completely dry and then putting another color, like that's glazing, and you're just able to like see through the layers, and it's just really pretty and soft and dreamy, and just there's nothing like painting with watercolor paints. It's beginner friendly, but it can be a little challenging as well because watercolor has an attitude. It doesn't want to be controlled. So, and that's the beauty of it, that you really can't predict 100% what it's going to do. And then you can just know what you want to have show up on the paper and work around that. So it's fun because you're always getting these surprises. And it's never boring. That's for sure. Watercolor painting is never boring. It's always gonna bring surprises with it. So common struggles of watercolor painting is not knowing where to start, not understanding the paint and water ratio. So feeling like you're not grabbing enough paint, or feeling like you're grabbing way too much and then it's not even transparent anymore. And also having too much water on your brush. So when you do have something good on paper that you're really enjoying what it's looking like, and then you dip your brush in some water, you put it down onto your paper and then just floods with water because you thought you had just the right amount of a water mix on your brush. But little did you know, you actually had more water on your brush than you did on the paper. So it floods it. And that can be a little shocking and a little sad part of the process. But once you get really in the habit of dabbing your brush, those issues go away. So that's like a common issue. I didn't really know how to get the right amount on my puddles, on my paint puddles, so there would be like enough to even paint what I wanted to paint with that one color. So all of a sudden I'm just like getting a dry brush because there just wasn't enough, or there was so much that now I'm losing the qualities and the beautiful aspects of watercolor painting. So those are common ones, and I'm going to have some videos coming up that are going to go over those challenges. So stay tuned to that, and get ready to dive deeper into watercolor by learning the essential supplies tomorrow. And we're going to dig into that. So this is a little short series, 3 videos to get you started, get you acclimated, introduced to watercolor painting, and I think you're going to fall in love with it. It's pretty fun. It's pretty amazing. So I will talk to you then. Bye. Hey, before I let you go, I wanted to show you some watercolor washes and show you how to get the watercolor onto the paper. So what we're going to do is I have some paint right here, and then there's different ways to get it onto the paper. We're just going to go over a few techniques. So you have your dry paper, there's wet onto wet, there's wet onto dry, and we're going to go over glaze, which is dried paint on top of wet paint on top of dry paint. And so you can see the transparency. So with wet into wet, you just wet the paper. Like so. I already have my paints wet and right here. And you have the wetness, then you just can drop paint in. You can smooth it around. You see how it's spreading with the paper. And you can do a combination of that. So it's spreading because of the wetness. Wherever the water is, that's where the paint goes. You just want to get in and get out and let things do their thing. Let the paint do its thing. And wet watercolor paint usually dries lighter than what you're seeing. Okay, so what you're seeing when it's wet. Now we have wet onto dry. So let's do a flat wash, which is just keeping the color the same, just keeping it really flat and even. So we're just kind of swirling in even strokes, and we're avoiding any drops. So you can use your brush as a sponge. I'm drying it, and wherever the paint collected, so we get those dots out of there. There you go, that's a flat wash. And I'm going to dry this so we can do the gradient right next to it, and we won't have anything spreading. And then a gradient is, again, wet onto dry, but we're going to take our paint, we're going to have it blend. So we're starting off at the top. We have our paint right there. And now we're going to connect to this, what's happening right at the edge, and let it blend with a different color. And then you can take your brush into the water, rinse it off, don't have a lot, remember to dab, and then spread it down. Wherever you are in the world depends on how much playtime you'll be able to have, because I'm in Colorado and it's very dry, so kind of racing the clock with it drying, and you're able to spread it without having a harsh line. So here's a gradient, it's blending. And then you have a glaze, which is, we're going to do our flat wash in purple. Right there. And now I'm going to dry that. And I'm going to go over it with blue. A blue flat wash on like half of it. Pretty hot. So some parts are flat, some parts aren't that flat, but my paper's hot, so it's already like heating it drying it even faster, but you see that you can see the purple coming through that blue a little bit because it's glazed. And those are watercolor washes. So I just want to share that with you, and I'll see you in the next video tomorrow in the series. Talk to you soon. Bye.